When they bid for and won these games, Beijing couldn't have had any idea that it, like last year's summer hosts Tokyo, would have to deliver the event under the cloud of a global pandemic. But the organisers insist it's all in hand.
China has secured a strategic victory against COVID-19, and we have formulated an efficient and highly effective defence system. We are confident that we can overcome the challenges brought by Omicron and bring a streamlined, safe and wonderful Winter Olympics to the world.
More than 1 million residents in the city of Yuzhou have been ordered to stay at home after the discovery of just 3 asymptomatic cases.
500 kilometres away, millions more in the city of Xi'an are 2 weeks into a lockdown.
Elsewhere in China, mass stay-at-home orders continue in attempts to curb the spread of the virus. So what will the approach be inside the Olympic bubble? Across the globe, nations are reporting record-breaking amounts of infection caused by the highly transmissible Omicron variant. That's prompted some government and sporting officials to call off plans to travel to Beijing. But there's another reason many won't be showing up, and that is concern over China's record on human rights.
The athletes on Team USA have our full support. We will be behind them 100% as we cheer them on from home, but we will not be contributing to the fanfare of the games. U.S. diplomatic or official representation would treat these games as business as usual in the face of the PRC's egregious human rights abuses and atrocities in Xinjiang. As the president has told President Xi, standing up for human rights is in the DNA of Americans, and we will continue to take actions to advance human rights in China and beyond.
Well, China responds by saying it's the United States and its allies who are trying to politicize a sporting event.
US politicians keep hyping a diplomatic boycott without even being invited to the games. This wishful thinking and pure grandstanding is aimed at political manipulation. It is a grave travesty of the spirit of the Olympic Charter, a blatant political provocation, and a serious affront to the 1.4 billion Chinese people.
So with just 4 weeks to go before the lighting of the Olympic cauldron in China, just what kind of show can the athletes and the world expect? And could rising political tensions between Beijing and Washington increasingly impact these games and the future of international sport in general? Well, it's time to welcome the people crucial to this hour of debate. David Woloczynski is an author and former president of the International Society of Olympic Historians. He's been to all bar one of the Summer and Winter Olympics held over the past 40 years. Welcome, David. You're a regular at the Olympics, like the others on this programme, and you were there back in 2008 when China hosted the Summer Games. It was described as China's coming out event to the rest of the world. What does the Games of 2022 mean for China now, do you think?
Well, first of all, I would say that it was not the coming out games at all. That the Chinese leadership really doesn't care that much how they're perceived abroad as much as they care about how they're perceived domestically. So, the success from the point of view of the Politburo of the Communist Party in 2008 in China was that they brought the world to them. They carried out a successful games, and you can trust us to do this, you can trust us to do anything. These games obviously are more of a challenge. They look like a great story for Beijing because they're the first city to host both the Winter and Summer Olympics. But there's other problems, clearly.
Susan Brownell teaches at the University of Missouri in St. Louis. She is an expert in Chinese sports and she trained in China as an athlete herself. She's the author of Training the Body for China, Sports in the Moral Order of the People's Republic. Welcome, Susan. Same question. How do you think China sees these games?
I have to agree with David because I was in China in the year leading up to the Beijing Games, and I was working with the municipal government and with the organizing committee. And I also saw that actually the bigger part of their attention and effort was devoted to the domestic audience. It is true that the leadership saw those games as China's coming out party, and I think they really were, and they were recognized as that internationally. These games, of course, are not the coming out party. They've already done that. I think their status as a superpower has been normalized. So These games are probably not quite as important in that respect, but with the pandemic, they've gained new importance because China is trying to rectify the damage to its national reputation that was done by the fact that the pandemic started in China. So that makes COVID control absolutely central for China to demonstrate that it can keep outbreaks under control.
Thank you. Jonathan White joins us too. He's a sports journalist based in Hong Kong who has regularly covered the Olympics and other big sporting events. How important, Jonathan, are next month's games to Beijing, do you think?
I think they're vitally important, but the challenge is one that they weren't anticipating when the games were awarded. At that point, there was no such thing as COVID, and that is going to cast a shadow over these games. It already has done, just as it did the Tokyo Games, which I know Beijing kept a very keen eye on. The other thing is that China's international reputation is now something that is of interest to Beijing, a lot more than it was in 2008. And the scrutiny on China now is more than ever before. There's a lot of non-games concerns that are going to interest the outside world and the foreign media who are in Beijing. And these are two things that they need to manage. One other aspect is, with Beijing 2008, China put a lot of money and a lot of effort into securing what was going to be, top spot of the Olympics. They sort of focused on a lot of sports there where they were going to do well. The Winter Olympics isn't going to get the same sort of public support because there isn't, the same chance of gold medals there, which they have in the Summer Olympics. So that's a challenge.
And our final guest is Eli Bremer, who is a modern pentathlete who competed in the Beijing 2008 Summer Olympics for the US. He's also a commentator for the American Olympic broadcaster NBC and served as an officer in the US Air Force. And he's currently running to be the Republican Party's candidate in this November's Senate election in the state of Colorado. Eli, what do you think is most important to Beijing about these games?
Well, I think the previous guest got it all correct. 2008 was very important to the Chinese to demonstrate to their people that the government was very powerful. China is not historically as good on the winter sports, so I think they're going to be trying to look to go toe-to-toe with the Americans on the medal count on the field of play. But I also do think that they will be very keenly looking at this from an international perspective and a public relations perspective of how does China look in the wake of the pandemic and in the wake of some of the human rights issues that have come up, because they are becoming more concerned with their global image.
Thank you. Before we move on, let's take a quick look back at how Beijing ended up getting the slot to host the Winter Games. David, you were at the IOC meeting, I think it was in Kuala Lumpur, which awarded the Winter Games to Beijing. How did it end up being a choice between just two cities, Beijing and Almaty, the capital of Kazakhstan?
Yes, an ironic and painful choice for the IOC as of today. It came down to the fact that the other cities that were bidding all dropped out. Everybody thought that it was going to go to Oslo, but because of domestic politics more than really the Olympics, Oslo dropped out, and so it was only these two dictatorships, China and Kazakhstan. And you can see today, as we speak in Kazakhstan, in Almaty, there are major protests, people being shot to death, Russian troops coming in. So this was a rough one for the IOC, and the vote was only 44-40 in favor of Beijing. What I remember about that vote was that during a coffee break after the presentations and just before the vote itself, there was a hallway with where you could see through into like a garden area. And just before the vote, the Chinese brought in busloads of Chinese nationals who lived in Kuala Lumpur, who stood outside the window waving signs and banners and chanting Beijing, Beijing, Beijing. It was a bizarre experience.
Susan, the IOC couldn't have foreseen the mass protests today in Kazakhstan, but was there a big sense of celebration when China got that decision?
Well, no, I think that they had just been through a pretty rough time with the Beijing 2008 Olympics, and they knew they would probably be facing that again, as of course the Chinese leadership must have known as well. And you can see that over the years since 2008 that the IOC has responded to the situation they faced then with, in particular, the addition of human rights to the host city contract, but that won't take place until Paris 2024, so it's not relevant in Beijing. But the IOC has definitely become much more savvy in the way it has responded to accusations concerning human rights in China or anywhere through adopting a corporate-style approach that allows it to claim that it is following principles of social responsibility, as it is called.
And we'll definitely come back to that later. Jonathan, you've lived in Beijing. Tell us about the host city, how suitable it is. It's not alpine. What kind of venues have they got?
Especially well, that was the major criticism when the games were awarded.
That are bereft of much natural resources, and that the big call on them is the human resource that they have. And so we are excited that cruise is back, but it is highly challenged, as you know, because cruise represent an ecosystem that is very, susceptible to any kinds of shocks, particularly from health, and the pandemic does provide a huge challenge for the full return of cruise.
Now, you do have curfews in place at the moment to limit the spread of coronavirus. To what extent is that impinging on the traditional Jamaican tourist experience?
Well, we have been able to establish a resilient corridor here in Jamaica, which is a bubble that enables the visitors to enjoy the full extent of the experiences that they seek, whilst preventing them from becoming involved in the wider community activities that may, in fact, assist in spreading the virus. So we have established the Jamaica Cares program, and this is a very significant initiative to provide an end-to-end security arrangement for the visitors and the protection of our locals. We established a set of protocols that are enviable. In fact, Jamaica became the very third country of the world to get the World Travel and Tourism Council's seal of safe travel approval. And that's significant for us. So we've been able to have a record of less than 1% infection level within the corridor. And so that has acted well for Jamaica in terms of providing a sense of confidence on the part of the market that they are going to have a safe, secure, and seamless vacation when they come to Jamaica.
And quickly, sir, if you would, please. The England T20 and Test teams are coming to the Caribbean soon, but not to Jamaica. You must be pretty disappointed.
Well, yes, indeed, because, we have Pakistan and we have Ireland, and now we are getting England and they are going to be in Barbados and not in Jamaica. That's a concern. Cricket is still one of the heartbeats of Jamaica, and we'll be missing them. But as usual, we'll be able to enjoy through virtual means the performances. And we expect to give them a good thrashing this time around.
Well, I wouldn't bet against it the way we're going right now in Australia. Edmund Bartlett, good to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian. Look forward to seeing you in Jamaica soon.
Oh, I do hope so. Some other stories now. And Royal Dutch Shell said this morning that earnings from its marketing division, which includes petrol stations, will be lower in the final 3 months of the year compared with the July to September quarter. That is due to seasonal trends and the impact of demand of the Omicron variant. Well, the company, which is the world's biggest trader of liquefied natural gas, also said that production volumes of LNG had been hit by unplanned maintenance, mainly in Australia. But it said gas trading earnings would be significantly higher due to the surge in wholesale energy prices. The luxury car maker Aston Martin Lagonda warned this morning that full-year earnings would be £15 million lower than expected. It said that this was purely a timing issue, reflecting delays in shipping to some customers of the Aston Martin Valkyrie model. But Lawrence Stroll, the executive chairman, said the company had delivered 6,182 cars to wholesalers during the year, an increase of 82%. That was mainly due to strong demand for the DBX, its first SUV model, which the company said now has a 20% share of the luxury SUV market. And the motor dealer Lookers said this morning it expects to report record profits for 2021 and ahead of market expectations. It said this was partly due to the unexpected strength of the used car market towards the end of the year. But it warned that given ongoing global supply chain disruptions and uncertainty as to the availability of new models, it was increasingly cautious about prospects for 2022. Well, Lookers, which has already said it will repay money it received under the government's furlough scheme, said it would also now be repaying in full some £1.9 million £1 worth of COVID-19 grants. The shares are up nearly 4%, I can tell you, this morning. Well, still to come here on Ian King Live, we'll be having a look at how the markets are doing going into the weekend. Stay with us.
I'm Tom Cheshire and I'm Sky's Asia correspondent based here in Beijing. We help you understand the world with us.
Well, another sell-off on Wall Street last night was followed by mixed trading in stocks in the Asia-Pacific region. Tokyo and Mumbai finished more or less unchanged, while Shanghai fell slightly, but there were gains in both Hong Kong and in Sydney. European stocks have traded largely to the downside since the opening a couple of hours ago. So there you go, it's the current picture. Only the MIB in Milan in positive territory right now. Here in London, the FTSE 100 was just in positive. Look at that, it's very, very marginally in positive territory, more or less unchanged there. Gains for the mining heavyweights are being balanced out by losses in the property and consumer sectors. Banking stocks, I should mention them, currently on course for their best weekly gains in 14 months amid talk of another Bank of England rate rise in the near future. There are not too many specifics for traders to get their teeth into today. Rio Tinto is the biggest blue chip gainer, while the retailer B&M is the biggest faller. Looks like a bit of profit taking there after yesterday's gains. Well, outside the FTSE 100, the Magnus cider maker, C&C Group, its shares are off by some 3% right now. That's after it warned that sales in December were worse than expected. While the advertising agency M&C Saatchi, you might recall I mentioned them this time yesterday, the shares are off some 7%. That's after its would-be acquirer Advanced AVT opposed a nil premium merger rather than a proper takeover bid. On the foreign exchange market, it's pretty quiet ahead of this lunchtime's non-farm payrolls data in the US. A strong number could see the US dollar extending its recent gains. Sterling currently ahead by 1/6% against the greenback, more or less unchanged right now against the euro. As for the oil price, very interesting, really, what's going on here. Risen again on those escalating tensions in Kazakhstan. More on that in the programme later on. Oil price currently on course for its best weekly gain for a month. Barrel of Brent crude is currently $82.82 a barrel. That is up a little over 1%. Well, joining me now is Janet Mooey. She's the investment director at Brewin Dolphin. Janet, very good morning to you. Happy New Year to you. Non-farm payrolls, what are you expecting today?
Good morning, Ian. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I think we expect a strong U.S. non-farm payroll numbers, primarily because we already saw a precursor of that report, which is ADP employment released on Wednesday. It was up 800,000. So even if it is not exactly accurate, I think it really means a bumper number today, which is economists expecting about 447,000 job creation in December. So I think that would cement the hawkish stance from the Federal Reserve recently. And also, I think markets will be looking at the unemployment rate, which is expected to be at 4.1%, which represent a dramatic fall since the start of the pandemic. Again, that really highlights the strength of the US labor market.
Now, there have been a couple of twin developments this week in markets, which are quite linked. Obviously, there's been a bit of a sell-off in tech stocks in the US, and also we've seen a rise in bond yields, both in the US and here in Europe as well. I mean, the two are very closely connected, aren't they?
Absolutely. I think it all stems from the fact that we are having economic recovery and the risk from Omicron is fading. And the fact that we are seeing very high inflation trends both in the US and the UK. So what it means for central banks around the world, and especially for the US and the UK, is that these sort of very accommodative, supportive monetary policy, it is no longer needed probably in 2022. So major central banks will be gradually scaling back their massive liquidity support. And as a result, the tech stocks and the more speculative areas of the market, for example, like cryptocurrencies, for instance, they are bound to suffer the biggest hits because those are the areas that have benefited from extremely low interest rates and extremely supportive liquidity.
Yeah, you've just put your finger on an interesting point there. There has been quite a sell-off in crypto this week.
Yeah, absolutely. So cryptocurrency has always been very volatile, and we saw that Bitcoin, for example, it hit a record high in November last year, but it has actually dropped 40% since then, and it has actually crossed below $42,000 US mark this week. And it just highlights how volatile it is, and the fact that last year it was supported by the fact that there were more institutional investors going in. And there was, saying that Bitcoin can hedge against inflation and it offers diversification. But with the Federal Reserve potentially raising interest rates as many as 3 times this year and 3 more next year, it just really puts a strain on these highly speculative assets because usually they need very supportive liquidity environment for investors to buy in. So we will be embracing more volatility in all these very highly risky assets.
OK, Janet, got to leave it there. Good to see you this morning. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, still to come here on Ian King Live.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far.
Send commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and Inter, you are not sure? Well, Lamb shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination Inter. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from Sendwave. Sendwave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With Sendwave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, Sendwave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use Sendwave? Sendwave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun and stay blessed.
The coolest way to start your weekend.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and it's
Yesu ni wangu wa uzima wa milele. Yesu ni wangu wa uzima wa milele. Yesu ni wangu wa uzima wa milele. Uzima wa milele.
Oh, Wasuma Wawilele. I say a massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Those of you on other planets as well, we salute you all and welcome you to today's live broadcast from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Today is the 7th day of the first month of the year 2022, and the time now is 10:43 from the House of London. And of course, it is the Friday edition of the morning show. Welcome on board. But do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Playing in the background, something from Joyful Way Incorporated. So I feel good. The 7th day. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord. The preacher man will say it's a prophetic day, the 7th day of the first month. And they made a joyful noise, giving thanks to God, shouted, and then the whole walls of Jericho came falling down. So maybe today, if you make a joyful noise, you lift your voice unto God and give him all the thanks and praise, something good might happen to you. But I'm not, let me say a big amen. Amen. Okay, that's why we finish church. Alright then. So let me say good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olani Kojo D, Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GI Accountancy Services, Felix all the way in Aberdeen. A special good morning also goes to Reverend Michael Siama and Minister Emmanuel Agbleke. To my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Pulling all the buttons and pulling all the knobs, making sure that the program is taken along nicely. Giving me a cup of coffee as well to wake me up. Hello, I'm awake. Okay, so from now to 1 o'clock, I'm going to be your captain. If you are sitting, sit very comfortably. If you are standing, hold on to something. I'm going to tell you something. It could get very bumpy, but you are short of one thing. Getting to your destination in peace and not pieces. And that is exactly what I'm going to be doing for you. To our listeners in the US, those of you in Europe, those of you in Asia, those of you in Australia, those of you on the African continent, we salute you all and we welcome you. Good morning to Mr. Kofi Adlib Abdul Yake. Dr. Martin, good morning to you. Mr. David Clocher, good morning to you as well. Hey, Mr. Theophilus Seko, aka TT, massive good morning to you. And to their family as well. All the way in Cyprus, my one and only HRH Linda Pallian. I salute you, lady. I hope you are doing very well. Regards to Mr. Pallian. And a special good morning all the way in the north of England to no other person but the one and only Chris Fadeli, CEO of Gabi Dave, the e-market where you can trade, whether you are from Africa or from Jamaica, it doesn't matter. They take good care of their own. Special good morning to my American president. I've got my own American president. Yeah. Not Joe Biden. No, I have got my own American president. He knows himself. Good morning to you, sir, and to the family. Yeah, some coffee will do. A hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate, wherever you might find yourself. Get it and let's get it on. And with the music and with the coffee, I feel good. I feel hot now. Earlier on coming into the studio, it was a bit nippy. The temperature was about 16 degrees in the studio, but when I started sipping on the coffee and feeling the beat in the groove, now I feel good. I feel hot. And that is exactly what I'm going to be doing for you today. Making sure that you feel good. Alright then, 10:47 the time. Running a bit behind time. But hey. It is Friday and my mind day. Happiness is here. Because Archie is here. And I can see somebody in the house. Alright then. Now let's crack on. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day. The weather forecast is going to follow suit. Then the travel update as well. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as global trotting. Then after that, well, going to Nigeria, there's a lot of things happening. This morning, information coming through talks about the fact that about 100 people have been killed, massacred by bandits. Oh my goodness. It was only yesterday that information came through that the government has now categorized those people or deemed them as terrorists, and therefore the military is going to count down on them like a ton of bricks. However, a day after that, and they've gone on to massacre people like that. What next? We'll be looking at what is happening in Nigeria. And then we'll go on from there to have a look at some of the other stories making the rounds across the globe. Exactement. At 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. And then we'll go on from there. Taking it along nicely to 12:30 when our money man, Mr. Dan Tabiri, will be coming your way with the money hour. So in a gist, that is what is going to happen for you. But if before the lines are open, you want to share your take with us, feel free to do so. You can post your comments on our Facebook page. But as I said, share, I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God. Okie doke. I said I've got a surprise for you, but I won't tell you yet. Alright then, so let's crack on. The quote for the day says what? True success comes in the cans, not in the cannots. True success comes in the cans, not in the cannots. I'm not talking about beer cans, no. They can do. Yes, I can. Yes, we can. Not, we cannot. Yes, so check it out and know you are able. There's so much in you, no matter how high the walls or the hurdles are, you are able. If it's too high, you can go underneath it. What about that? But somewhere, somehow, you will be able to make it. Now let's crack on straight. Let's go on to the weather front. Let me tell you what is happening on the weather front. Now on the weather front, this afternoon we'll see variable cloud cover start to build in places. However, it should remain largely dry with just the odd shower possible towards the evening. And tonight will start dry and clear, but the cloud will quickly build in from the west. The second half of the night will be dominated by frontal rain, which will sweep through from the west. Actual temperature is going to be 6 degrees, although it's going to be 1 degree. UV level is going to be low, pollution is going to be low, sunset 16:09, and sunrise for tomorrow morning 08:05 hours. But when it comes to Saturday, what is going to happen on that front? Let me tell you that as well, because it's the weekend. Saturday, we're going to have a wet and dull Saturday. Bands of cloud will gradually clear eastwards throughout the day. Any drier spells will occur under overcast conditions, and it's going to be breezy as well. Now come to Sunday. Sunday looks to be a dry and fine day with sunshine, gentle winds as well compared to Saturday. So that is how the weather is going to be for you for the weekend. It's All Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, whilst you're enjoying the music, let me take you straight to the roads and let you see what is happening there. And as I will say all the time, keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads. Now, moving on straight to the second line on the underground, minor delays due to an earlier faulty train at Liverpool Street. If you can avoid it, do your best to avoid that. But if not, you are standing there, continue to listen to us as and when there are any changes, will bring you to the fore. Now, on the Hammersmith and City line as well, minor delays due to an earlier faulty train at Liverpool Street. So the Liverpool Street incident is having lots of repercussions. Now, on the Metropolitan line as well, minor delays between Harrow on the Hill and Uxbridge due to an earlier faulty train at Liverpool Street. Now, good service on the rest of the line. As you know, Water and City line, I've got planned closures. That aside, all the others, good service there. London Underground, TFL Rail, DLR, London Tramlink, good service. Moving on straight to the riverbank this morning, Woolwich Ferry has got suspended. It's suspended, but the rest has got good service there. Straight on to the National Rail. If you're traveling this morning or over the weekend, First Haul Trains has got special service Gatwick Express, special service Great Northern, special service Great Western Railway, special service ScotRail, special service South Western Railway, special service South Eastern, minor delays Thames Link, special service Transport for Wales, special service. Keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. 3 minutes to the top of the hour at a time. The morning show of the program. I'm Archie. I'm moving on to the final segment of the travel update. That's the major roads in London. A316 has got closures. A4 closures. Central London Red routes closures there as well. And that is why I say, well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the road. Okay, enjoy the music, enjoy the music. Okay, quick global trotting there. Hospital staff absence up nearly 60% in England. The latest NHS England figures also shows a sharp rise in staffing being hit in the northwest England. Now, in other parts of the world, troops told to fire without warning in Kazakhstan. The president orders a crackdown on protests, saying 20,000 bandits had attacked the main city. How did he come to that assessment? Well, Djokovic, not captive in Australia, minister says. He says, well, if he really wants to leave the country anytime, he can just decide to leave. So it's not being held. He's being kept. Now, military sends 200 personnel to back NHS in England. Yesterday, in the US president's speech pertaining to the Capitol anniversary, 1 year anniversary, Capitol invasion, of course, he said the mob held dagger to America's throats. And what do you think about all that? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio stations in London. Now, the doctors and nurses defying Myanmar military, many healthcare workers have refused to work in state hospitals and are now operating underground. How are they doing that? And you think that is going to cause these people to say, well, okay, because of you health workers, so now we are rescinding our decision to continue with our rule. Well, the World Organization has said that Omicron should not be called mild. It cautions that just like previous variants, Omicron is hospitalizing and killing people as well. Now, rest after 10 bodies found in a car in Mexico. The discovery was made outside the governor's office in the central state of Zacatecas. It's a mouthful there. Well, in Tanzania speaker quits amid fallout with President Samia accused him of political sabotage after he questioned government's borrowing. Well, she's the first female leader of the country, and with the demise of the president, then she took over. Well, is it that because she's a woman they're trying to use their man egos to actually bring her down, but she is not one that is going to be lying down. This woman is not for tyranny. Well, the 10 Uganda novelist wife, Seals Police Chiefs, Kakwenza Ruki Rafaja, okay, is accused of social media related crimes. All coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Well, today in Ghana happens to be, is it Democracy Day or something of the sort? But my question here is, call it 30 years on, do you think our democracy is where it? We have the two main political parties, the NDC and the MPP. We have projects that have we borrowed money from various international communities and locally. And this one will say, well, we want to build this infrastructure, and this one comes and is abandoned, and then another one comes and starts another thing, borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. So I call it wastage. But the question is, government now is trying to say, let's introduce that 1.75 e-levy charge. And I ask myself the question, have you stopped the wastage in the system? Various housing projects that various governments have undertaken, and at this time the country is suffering from housing shortage. Now, what do you think is happening there? This is a lot we're going to be looking at. Well, interestingly, Ghana's biometric data in the hands of a Kenyan company. Imani Vice President alleges, well, in the country, or the company that is seeing to the registration of the the SIM cards or whatever they term it. Yes, saying that, well, information coming through is that this body or this company is just a small company that have just done what? Collection of data of some is it call it a region in Kenya? So they've not had any international exposure of any kind. And here it is that they are going on saying that they're going to do that for a whole country, and that is why there are a lot of queues going on. But you know what? We're going to be looking into all that in a moment. I told you I've got a special present for you, but don't you worry, the present will be coming pretty soon. It's all coming away from Starr Radio, okay? Your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Enjoy the tune now, and then I'll be back with you to bring you updates from Nigeria. Stay tuned. I'm Archie.
Yo. together.
From SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Hole of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Yeah, I told you I've got a gift, but it's still under wrap, so don't you worry. You want to know, just continue to stay with me and I'll make sure that you enjoy it as well. Okay, now let's move on straight to Nigeria, where it's all unraveling with the updates from Nigeria. Let's see what is happening. Never in the history of our nation has it been this bad by Professor Osman Yusuf. Now, what is the professor talking about there? I'll be bringing you more details of it. Let me say good morning once again to Mr. Olami Koiki. I said he's back in town. He'll be joining us pretty soon. Now, please read Jigawa Black Sport arrest 4 suspected drug dealers as well. That's one of the stories making the rounds. And then Makinde has kept faith with electoral promises. Well, some politicians do keep faith with the electoral promises. Others decide that, well, we've got power and therefore let's go sleep. Now, what about that? Are you satisfied with Makinde's performance so far? We wanted to share it with us. Well, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Buhari, believe in Buhari, his biggest project is in Southeast. Now, so what is that project? Is it trying to quell the IPOB or what? Or the insurrection? Or what exactly does he want to do there? Well, it's all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, with some other stories making the rounds, was it early part of this week where I talked about the fact that the president said that he was against state policing? But well, Amatikon has arrested suspected ritualists in Oshun, so that means that they are doing their work there. He reckons that, well, we should get the chiefs to do that for us instead of having state police, security agencies. We should get the chiefs to step in so that they will be a buffer between the community and those who are causing carnage in the community. What do you think that would do? Well, it's All Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, one other story before I bring you the details of the story. Corruption. Nigeria must live within their means. Nigerians must live within their means. Says who? Says the president. Well, somebody says that, well, he is one of the ones who, has got very, very clean hands. When I hear such information coming through that, well, the leaders have got very, very clean hands. I ask myself the question, well, what about those surrounding them? Maybe they have got clean hands, but those around them, can also say that they've got clean hands? Well, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, so let me. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's continue whilst I get my present that I'm bringing your way ready. Yes, it's going to be ready pretty soon. But first and foremost, let's talk about the corruption. The corruption, Nigerians must live within their means. Buhari is saying, he says that, well, the president, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, has said that one way to fight corruption in Nigeria is for citizens to live within their means. He added that as long as Nigerians want to live flamboyantly, corruption will continue to thrive. Now, Buhari said this in an interview with the national broadcaster. Now, when asked about the new leadership of the Anti-Graft Agency, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and how the fight against corruption had been revamped, Buhari said the problem of corruption is a continuous one for a developing country like Nigeria. People have to accept living within their means. As long as people don't want to live within their means, so long will corruption be with us. And speaking further, the retired general said the best way to funding by departments, ministries, and especially by states now, look at local governments in this country. The third tier of government, it is getting less and less effective, and they are supposed to be the most effective because they deal with bottom up, especially when it comes to education, healthcare, which are the basic things for the majority of Nigerians. But the question that I asked this morning is that, do they get the necessary amount, the requests for the budget that they present, or do they just get something little and therefore they have to use that? And again, apart from that, we have others who try to go on to squander the little that they have there as well. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, now my present for you is here. Yes, I've got Mr. Frank Davis in the house.
Yes, man.
This Ghana man is back in town.
Archie. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year to our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
We are back.
He said he just sounded out nicely. He said we are back.
We are back with the code. What can we do?
Yeah, how was Ghana and how is Ghana?
Ghana is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
If someone tells you Africa is no good, tell them they are lies.
Okay.
Africa is good. Ghana is good.
Okay.
At least you don't have a lot of back pain that result from wearing jackets. You do not have that. That is a plus because as we speak now, there are a lot of people whose weight have doubled.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We put on weight. We put on
a lot of weight. And those jackets are heavy. You have back pain, so that you do not have it. So that is one good thing. But it's good. Ghana is good. Yeah.
Looking at the last time that you went to Ghana, so the latest time that you went, did you see much development there?
Archie, that is a very big question, and again, you're gonna look at it in different ways. When we're talking about development over here, we have to look at whether we're talking about physical infrastructure development, where you see buildings springing up everywhere, roads that used not to be there being there, communities which used to be areas that you call undeveloped areas.
Yeah.
And then I recall I went to East Legon. There's a friend of mine who lives at Kismind. Before I left, close to his house, that is like a dead end.
Yeah.
This time round, a new route and the buildings that you never
coming up there. Wow.
So when it comes to physical infrastructure, you see a lot of developments that are coming. People are becoming. If there's a bit of a two-way system. There are people who have become rich and wealthy, more businesses, and the advance of technology also helping. A lot of businesses are open up. You again see another street of people where you realize that the number of people on the streets selling, trying to make, it's also gone up. So those who have it will continue to have and continue to increase what they do have. And then those who do not have it, the number is also increasing. Unemployment rates are up. That a lot of people who have completed school without jobs now. You speak to a few people, they tell you they are graduates. Look, I took the couple of times I took taxis. I was surprised to know that one driver that was driving was an LLB student.
Wow!
Completed school doing an LLB. There was another one that I took, had complete final year at the University of Cape Coast, and was doing this thing as well. Another one completed. 3 of them I had different experience. One was telling me, this year, even he has to walk out of the country to leave to Europe.
God.
I had to give my number to him and told him, look, there's one route I wouldn't want you to pursue, which is Libya.
Yeah.
So we had it. I said, look, if not at all, look at me as your God who have just saved you. Because the guy was ready.
So desperate that he just
wanted. My friends, some of them have gone through Libya. I said, that was Libya then, but now, please do not attempt. Do not attempt at all. So you have, what do you call it? All that over there. And but it's still good. Out of the difficulty, people are making headway. So we just have to put your heads down and see exactly what you want to do.
Well, welcome back to London. All right then, listeners, we'll go back to Ghana. We'll have a look at it. Today is a Democracy Day. Yes, in Ghana. We'll have a door to door with Mr. Frank Davids on that note, because there are a few incidents or a few issues that we want to see look at from there. But now let's go back to Nigeria, where we were looking at the corruption situation that the president is saying that, look, if Nigerians live within their means, then corruption will go down. But we've got into a place where I tell people all the time, when you've not tasted something, let's say you've not tasted honey before, you don't care about it. But the moment you have a taste of it and you love it, you will do everything to have it. And so this situation where we are talking about the fact that, well, let's live within our means, The people who have tasted the sweet things, and now if they don't have it, they saw what their parents might have lived, the condition that they've lived in, and they think that, well, this is the way forward. This is the only way. Like you're saying, in Ghana, there is a two-way traffic now. The haves and the have-nots. Okay, if somebody sees the way the haves are behaving and think that, whoa, I also need to be there, they will do everything together. By a right way or a foul means, they will do that to get together.
Yeah.
So do you think that the president's statement is one that is actually looked at, and is something that can actually come into being?
Yeah, I think the president comments, depending on the way you looked at it, I welcome it because one, it indicates that he has failed and is self-indicting. Because at the end of the day, he talks about Nigerians can live within their means. Right, I agree that yes, we all have to live within our means, but at the end of the day, there are people who they don't even have the means to live.
Yeah.
So you are
to survive.
To survive. There are people who, it's not about living, is basically a daily battle. They wake up, what to eat. What I saw it first, I live in Ghana. So when you're saying people should live within their means, it is not like the means is there. So when you have someone, let's take Ghana classic example. Right, someone lives probably in let's say Taifa. They need to commute on a daily basis to probably call it Circle. Or they need to commute to that. They are actually doing what they call NACO or national. Let's take a typical national service. I've completed university. I'm to do national service. I am being paid 599 or 596 Ghana cedis. Equivalent, call it 600 Ghana. Now, assuming I've been posted from somewhere, I have to rent. Assuming I'm renting a cubicle, no toilet, nothing. I'm looking at spending about 250 or 300 Ghana a month. So out of the 600, about 250
is going for your accommodation.
You go for that is the basic accommodation that you can have. Talk less of transport. Now, if you have to commute between my younger brother, for instance, commutes between Spintex to Taifa area. You're spending an average of about 20 Ghana cedis. That is on trotro route
daily.
So let's give someone who will take, let's say, 10 Ghana on a daily for 25 days or this, and you're looking at again 250 so
again.
That alone has no
500 gone.
You got like 100 left. Now we're talking about data, right? Mobile communication is something that is something that you can't do without. Now credit now to buy, you spend about 100 Ghana on minimum on that. So that knocks off your 600. Food has not coming, right? Clothing has not coming. Medicine has not coming. Pleasure, which is or leisure, a bit of it which is necessary for your own survival, has not coming. Here we go now. Even water. If you are not lucky and you have water at home, you need to buy water, right? If you're not lucky and where you live, you have toilet at home, you have to pay to public toilet 50 cedis, 50 pesos. Now, to go and rent an accommodation that is that cheap, there are things you have to know. Water might not be there. Toilet might not be there. So that increase your expenditure. Actually, food is extremely expensive. You know what we call shrinkflation?
Shrinkflation. That's a Ghanaian. It's shrinking inflation.
When food stuff, food, let's say cake, whatever, the size begin to reduce. Just to maintain the price level. So you see, if it is 1 Ghana, it is still 1
Ghana. But
you realize that you used to take 1, but now you might have to go 2.5. Then no shrinkflation has set in. So, look, common pure water, we are now being told that even it's going to be sold for 40. They say 40 pesos. So, if you take a national service personnel, and a lot of people within the system are paid around 500 to 1,000 that way. Okay, a lot of people. So it is very, very difficult for people to survive. I admit, yes, sometimes depending on what you do, you should be able to manage your finances better. I admit that, and I also admit, but actually, for someone who lives at Tema, I have looked for a job. When you give them a job at Belempe, they will take it without calculating how much they're going to be spending up and down.
They just want to have a job.
And at the end of the day, they will end up in debt every month. So when the president is talking about, well,
living within their means,
besides, Buhari went ahead and spoke about local government system. Whose direction are we having local government working now? He's the What has he done since he came to power to show that this was local government or the government system that I inherited? And when I came in order to root out corruption, I have instituted A, B, C, D that are yielding results. He is speaking as someone who is in opposition. He is talking as someone who has not tasted governance. He is talking as someone who has no power to be able to make decisions. But here's the case: Nigerians voted for you. They know there were problems in the system, and that is the promise you gave them, that I will help fix your system. Don't sit on television and be complaining about the system again. Tell us what you are doing to fix it, or what you have done to fix it. Yes, I do understand Nigerians will need to act better. There was a case instance where I had a video sent to me, and this was a lady from Switzerland who traveled to Nigeria. And this lady was granted a 2-month visa before she went to Nigeria. She spent 5 weeks. When she got to the airport to leave, the immigration officers over there are telling her that she has overstayed.
What?
And they were going to collect money from her. The first charge that they were going to give her was a 3 million Nigerian naira. She said she doesn't have it. One guy put her aside. The bill is now 80,000 Nigerian. I said from 3 million to
80,000.
How did it occur today? How come
discount for her?
They scan the passport, they show her their computer, the system. It is showing on their computer system she overstayed.
Wow.
And she's okay. I mean, to cut the story short, she said she told them, look, I have the ambassador, a Nigerian ambassador to Nigeria, personal and private number with me.
I'm going to call them.
Let me call the person and say, look, I came paid, you issue me 2 months visa, but here I am in Nigeria after staying for 5 weeks, which is less than 2 months. I'm being told that I've overstayed and I have to pay some money. Is it that you fraudulently issue me 2 months visa so that I can be defrauded, or I can be searched out when I come? Or if you give me a visa and my stay should be 1 month, why was it not spelled out in the condition of my visa? So she raised that issue, trying to call that she was going to call that, it's okay. Then they started making. So that case, authority couldn't do it. It is the character of personnel along the chain. Are you getting me? So yes, workers need to, but when as a leader things like this are brought to your attention, what do you do to be able to solve the problem? How do we report people who are doing that? How do I capture or easily capture, what do you call it, the person's information to be able to report the person, or who do I complain to so that I see redress? And if that lady nearly missed a flight for 5 minutes, only 5 minutes, if she had missed that, who would have compensated? Who? Because over here, Archie, you know, anything like this happen, the people involved will be prosecuted. It will not even happen. Nobody dare even do it. So I understand that culture and that mentality. We must exploit, extort, defraud, look at every human being as a money making tool. Whichever way, I've been given uniform, I am in an office, I am a secretary. Once I'm given that position, everything that I might do to milk people, that mentality needs to change. I think we are all sick in that. I wouldn't blame the president for that, but he's a leader. and he must show the way how we fix such problems.
Okay, and let me say good morning to Charlotte Odum. He said more blessings. Welcome back, Honorable Sir. Now they've add honorable to your name, Honorable Sir Frank. Yes, Her Excellency herself.
They say I reserve for ambassadors.
No, I think you read your profile to an ambassador straight. Okay, let's start already. Okay, well, let's start on one other story from Nigeria, and then we can bring the update to a close. It says, this is by Professor Osman Yusuf, and he said that never in the history of our nation, that is Nigeria, has it been this bad. Now he says, I'm old enough to clearly remember 13 administrations from that of General Yakubu Gowon and from 1966 to 1975 to the current one of President Muhammadu Buhari 2015 to date. It is safe to say that none of these administrations came to power with so much hope, expectations, and goodwill of citizens and the international community like President Buhari. Now, unfortunately, all this goodwill has been squandered by this government due to Messiah complex, intellectual laziness, bad governance, endemic corruption, incompetence, mediocrity, nepotism, arrogance of power, sense of entitlement, stubbornness, aversion to constructive criticism, delegation of responsibility without supervision, or holding anyone accountable. Now he goes on, he said indifference, distance, and disconnection from any insensitivity to the sufferings of our people. And he's just describing that he's been, so you look at him, he's somebody who is quite old, because from Gowon's time, that's 1966. To now, looking at the whole thing and saying that, well, when he was coming in, I remember when he was campaigning, saying that, look, Boko Haram, and this is going to be something in the past and everything, but things have become worse.
Actually, the problem with Buhari was that, you see, Buhari has been in government before, and therefore, people thought that he had experience. He knows exactly what did not work that time. He's had a first feel of it, how government system should work, and has stepped out of the system now, coming back, and there was nothing at all to correct some of what he thought were loopholes or holes that were there. Actually, I 100% agree with what he's saying. If you look at especially the first one, the Messiah mentality complex that he talks about, the goodwill goes into people's head and they think that hail him, hail him, hail him. Oh, now we have that kind of support from the grassroots. The person thinks that I am the best, and everything that I'm doing now that I'm even in power is the best, and I'm not going to listen. It will be a syndrome. That's exactly. And Buhari is suffering from it because when they came, they did not put their heads down to basically marshal the forces and the support of the citizens. That, look, thank you for giving me power. This is a new dawn. We're going to do things differently. Tap into that energy that the city, and at that very point in time, the first 90 days, the citizens were willing, would have been willing to do anything. Anything that Buhari has asked of them to be able to correct certain things. But he abused that window. That window passed. They were concentrating on how to consolidate power, how to steal, and Buhari also missed very great opportunities. When you came in, there were instances of corruption that were
that you should have prosecuted the individual.
Stamp your authority, because if you were going to lead a new nation, you promised a new nation, people want to see you acting differently. That is how you were going to carry them along, and you couldn't. Same is true when you come to Ghana for Akufo-Addo. There's never been any government that has got so much goodwill apart from Nkrumah's government. Rawlings coup let the blood flow. There has never been any government that had got the
goodwill of the people like
before they came to power, like Akufo-Addo had. But what has happened? Squandered that goodwill. They came in, all they were interested in is grabbing students, what is Samia Okwen Adatun, take positions. And Akufo-Addo has not been able to pull the nation, to pull the country along with that line. They were so much concentrated. They were concentrating on how to make money, pay their debt, and that's exactly with Buhari. So I 100% agree, and it's a problem. And the problem they've created now is that people have lost interest in politics.
Yeah.
People have lost interest in politics. Ghana still has one chance. Should there be an election, and Mahama should present himself, and he should come again, that would be kind of a Buhari card. But in this case, you look at someone who has been vice president, someone who has been a president, went to position,
and now come back.
If he mess up, Ghana is doomed. That's it. People that write Ghana off. That is it. Ghana is gone.
Well, listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. 20 minutes to the top of the hour at the time. Sister Gina says, welcome back, Frank. Yes, everybody's welcoming you back. They said that this man is missing in action, but he's here. He's here. All right then. I think we'll bring the update from Nigeria to a close on that front. But if you have any comments or any additions to what we've said, feel free, you can put it on our Facebook page. Like I said, we should be having Mr. Olaimi Koiki pretty soon, sometime maybe next week. We should have him back on. He's back in town trying to just tighten things up nicely before he comes on to the show. It is already UK. Now we take a quick break and then we come back and look at some of the stories making the rounds here in the UK. Military sends 200 personnel to back NHS in London. Well, the Prime Minister still is of the view that there is no need for a plan C, and says that it is only the opposition party, that is the Labour Party, that wants that, and he thinks that, well, let's try to plod on, let's try to ride on, whilst Omicron is still causing a lot of mayhem around us. But what do you think? We'll come into that in a moment. Stay tuned, don't you go away.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes.
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So
What did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The time now is 11:44. So 16 minutes to 12 the time. The morning show, the program, as I said earlier on, I've got with me Mr. Frank Davis back in town. He's here with me. Well, the lines will be open exactly at 12 o'clock for you to add your voice to the discussions. And then we'll move on from there exactly at 12:30. We'll be having our money man, Mr. Tabiri, also joining in to bring you the money hour, putting some money in your pocket. So make sure that you continue to keep your dials logged on Starr Radio UK. Now let's go to some of the stories that is making the rounds here in the UK, as I did say earlier on. The military sends 200 personnel to back NHS in London. The Ministry of Defence has agreed to help fill staff shortages across the capital this month. We have the Prime Minister who is saying that, well, he doesn't think that the plan C should be deployed, and again he's looking at the fact that we are going to ride on through this Omicron variant. But this is a case where when you are there and you test positive, you have to isolate.
Yeah.
And so most of the workers they're talking about how many percent, about 60% testing positive and therefore have to isolate. So already the NHS is facing lots of pressure, and then with this as well. So for the military to say they are sending these people in, let me ask one question: do the military have a special medicine that they take? Because you know when they are the military, they just send them. They said, maybe they have some special injections.
No, I mean, I think they are more ready to assume risk. They go in front of their job is full of risk. So whilst you and I will be isolating certain cases, they are more able to withstand. Not that when they have the virus, they have to still be at the front line, you know, but they're more of dealing with some of these risks than other okay. They are able to withstand a lot of pain as well. And they are able to go a long mile than the two of us can go
because of the training
the training that they have.
Okay.
The training that they have. And their intervention over here, I think, they're very important. They're not going to. They are soldiers that are nurses. Their soldiers are doctors. If they come in, you're going to see them getting actively involved. But again, there are other jobs that can be done. For instance, if you're a paramedic and you can administer a bit of vaccine, you can administer to take care of someone at the ward. Then what you're looking at is that person will be taking off those peripheral jobs and put it in the ward. While the soldier will jump on driving
the ambulance
or doing something that someone should have, a porter or someone should have done. So again, it comes with a bit of redeployment, reassigning of where expertise are needed and where people are needed to redeploy them. We are told, for instance, the ambulances, a lot of them are off sick. Don't forget, they contact,
and they have the face-to-face with
some of them. A lot of them are off sick, so you need a bit of backup. It's a bit of a difficult situation, but I understand again the Prime Minister, because at the end of the day, actually, if you announce a lockdown now, there's a responsibility on you as a government. It's not Africa where you announce a lockdown, government should, there's no responsibility whatsoever. Here you are not. You announce a lockdown, there are business losses that will come in as a direct result of your announcement. Insurance, businesses would like to claim from insurance. Insurances will need to see a justification for paying out business interruption and other things. So government is also looking at the financial implication on any announcement, any lockdown. What is favoring them? That we are being told that the Omicron variant is not as deadly as Delta, and the evidence suggests that Delta is in the system, and a lot of people in intensive care are actually suffering from Delta. Whilst Omicron will take people to hospital, but The other thing that happens is that there will be pressure not because of the virus itself, but because there are other people. The virus has not stopped other ailments. The virus has not stopped accidents happening. The virus has not stopped cancer patients. Not stopped blood pressure. All other ailments that would have been there without a virus
is going on.
And therefore you see that kind of pressure again mounting on the system. So if you get a soldier in, but as to 200, we have been told again that the Nightingale hospitals are going to be raised again. Let's hope some of them will be drafted in to help manage those facilities.
Okay, listen, this is Star Radio UK. Well, hospital staff absence up nearly 60% in England. Well, what has the Scottish and the Northern Ireland and the Wales been doing? Well, they've managed to lock the place down and they are trying to cope. But we're talking about the economical impact of locking down as well. Let's move on straight to some other stories that's making the rounds. Russia's sub hits Royal Navy warship sonar in North Atlantic. A Russian submarine collided with the Royal Navy warship sonar on patrol in the North Atlantic, the Ministry of Defense has confirmed. HMS Northumberland had been tracking the submarine when it hit the ship's sonar equipment, being trailed hundreds of meters behind it. The incident in late 2020 was captured by a television crew filming a documentary. A UK defense source said it was unlikely the collision was deliberate. The HMS Northumberland was searching for the submarine in the Arctic Circle after it disappeared from the ship's radar, according to Channel 5, which was filming for the warship's Live at Sea series. So we see things that happen that they don't talk about it. They don't
talk about it. But I mean, the good thing is that it wasn't deliberate. But I wouldn't blame the Russians. I mean, from what they are saying, all of them were at fault. Someone was trying to trail, another person was trying to trail. So I mean, those are incidents that will happen. We call it a track collision.
Okay.
The way I look at it.
They're trying to shoot me. I'm trying to dodge as well. So collision comes.
But the good things are, apart from everything that we say politically, there's a lot of collaboration, because at the end of the day, it's human lives that are involved over here. War has not been declared. So, yes, there'll be a bit of hostility and everything, but when it comes to professionals, let's say the soldiers, the Air Force, those, even the medical fields, when it deals with a professional, I mean, forget about the political noises that we hear, and there's always collaboration. I mean, among these people, because they're doing their jobs how professional. Life is a paramount. How to save life, how to protect life and equality, how to protect the territorial integrity of the country. It's what it is. So if Russia has not declared a hostile situation to, for instance, attack anything, everything, Britain, then there's no justification for to go after them if there's those, which could be purely an accident.
That happened. Well, it's not happening here, but troops told to fire without warning in Kazakhstan. The day before yesterday, we had demonstrators going on to, burn vehicles, destroy a few things. Because of the hike in fuel prices. Now, they've roped in the Russians to come and help them. The president of the Kazakh president told Putin, we need help, and they've deployed Russian troops there, and they were told to fire without warning, and they've killed a few people in there.
Actually, yes, the hardship will be there, but what you also, from experience and from what we do know, is that protest has been used mostly as a way of destabilizing countries. You look at what nearly happened in Hong Kong. You look at what nearly happened in Cuba. You look at what happened in Venezuela. So there's always a trigger which people ride on to do all kind of stuff. I also think that governments should not be using brutal force to force people to swallow bitter pills, because a lot of these people are suffering. Economic situation globally is getting very, very, very difficult. The interesting thing is that when you're looking at some of these taxes that are being collected, and you look at the expenditures, and you ask yourself, why are we not concentrating on expenditure to see if we can rein in a little bit of expenditures that we do. I mean, you take a classic example. Let's go to Ghana. Take a classic example of Ghana. We are being told for this e-levy that we are being, which for me personally I find is thievery, because if I have my money in my wallet or under my tongue, and actually you visit me and I give you money, I don't pay anything for it. My wallet, which is Momo, is an electronic wallet. It's the same thing as keeping my money
in my wallet.
Whereas if I'm going to give you money physically, I don't have to pay
tax
when
on
I'm
it.
giving you money electronically,
I have to pay.
I have to pay one. So for me, it doesn't make sense. If you're telling me that for service provision, those who provide the service, okay, MTN will take 1% of whatever it is, we're going to increase that and charge this in on that tax. So if MTN making money, why don't you go after
them?
After them, transaction tax was going to help. Now you look at all the and you then look at the expenditure side of it. You take the presidency for instance. The presidency has increased its budget by almost 500 million. Okay. From what it was last year, they are now requesting the 500 million again. You look at their contingency emergency funds. They've now increased that emergency fund from a 300 something million to almost a 900 million. They've increased the staff. They are requesting to increase the staff from around 1,600 to 2,100. So on the expenditure side, you're looking at the president going out, or probably the ministers going out. The number of convoys they ride with 50, 20. It's not like we are basically saying, okay, you know what? Because of this difficulty, if I'm going to go with 20 convoy, and I want to limit it to 5, because at the end of the day, the person who is going out of Accra with me might need to be paid per diem, their hotel bills, fuel. We have to rein in cost on what they call fueling those cars, cost on what do you call it, maintenance those cars. And some of those cars actually, the whole day they don't go off, they go to functions, they turn them on because people have ordered
environmental pollution.
Oh no, they want their conditions to be in there, because when the minister enters a car, it must be chilled before they enter. Actually, so if Kazakhstan is, I do believe, not even Kazakhstan, every corner of the, when we are asking people to pay more, we need to be looking at how we also rein in our expenditure. Well, most often than not, expenditures from the executive and that things, which consume a lot of money, we do not talk about it. All we want to know, let's tighten our belt. We need this for development. We need this for this. We need this. All actually, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
I was asking Kojo, I think, was it yesterday or one of the days when I think it might be yesterday, that does he think that this issue that is happening in Kazakhstan is going to have a reprisal effect across let's call it because if you look at the price hikes that is going to be coming in April here in the UK, I'm talking about more than 50%, and then and the energy, and then they're saying that even getting to October as well, there's going to be another 20%, so virtually you're going to pay about 70% more. Now, do you think that this that is happening there, people will just say, now look, we've had enough of everything and just whatever?
Actually, you're going to see a lot of crime going on. People are going to take to crime. Again, you're going to see a lot of people who just give up on life. I mean, they're going to give up on life. Again, you're going to see a lot of businesses that are going to go down, because if the people cannot afford to purchase because you are forced to increase your prices again, then you're going to go down. I mean, basically economic hardship is going to increase for the majority, while the few that controls what they call it, sources of production, those who control the trade, some of them are not going to be touched. The more prices go up, the more the profit. The more the profit.
Well, maybe we have to boycott Russia, who is now, wielding so much power when it comes to.
What can you do?
We say we're not going to be buying from them. They tell you we have to go to Africa. Go to Africa. Go and buy from Nigeria. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's now gone almost 12 o'clock. Let me announce the lines opened, and then we will allow you to add your voice to the discussions, and then we'll go to Africa. Now, if you want to join the conversation, call us on 0208-133-2257 or 580208-133-2257 or 58. Now, if you happen to be in the US, Canada, or the Caribbean area, it is 001-7183-032737. 001-7183-032737. You can also text or WhatsApp us 07539661744, 07539661744. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. Get in touch with us and let us know what your take is on any of the issues. Maybe you have some information that's coming through we don't have a clue of. Feel free and share it with us. Now, interestingly, one story that made the rounds: a man in India got jabbed with a COVID-19 vaccine at least 8 times. Last year, a health official has said. Now, Bramdio Manda, 65, has claimed that he received 11 doses of the vaccine in Bihar state. The retired postman said the jabs had helped him to get rid of aches and pains and stay healthy. He claimed he had not suffered any adverse effects. So you see, more doses, like Israel is saying, that Israel started their fourth dose booster there. Now somebody saying, so do you? Well, somebody will say, well, when it comes to medication, it's compatible to somebody, it's not compatible to another person.
Yeah. Actually, this vaccine issue is a very, 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 debatable issue. That's why some people, Panadol will be good for them, paracetamol will be good for others. So our body's systems respond differently to different medications. Even evidence has shown that the immunity level that people derive from this vaccine varies from an individual to an individual. We've seen people who have had a vaccine and they are quite okay, and again we know people who have had a vaccine and they again have adverse effects and reactions. But people have received the vaccine and have died as a direct result of taking the vaccine. You see, but there are a lot of questions which for me, we are not being allowed globally to have a debate or a proper discussion about it. You look at, for instance, the argument that when you take this vaccine, and there's a report by the UK government itself that shows that part of your immune system is basically played with, such that natural immune system
is compromised.
So you look at that compromise. What will be the effect when other viruses come in? Because today we might have the coronavirus. We told Israel, for instance, they have flurona, which is a combination of flu
and coronavirus.
Tomorrow it could be Frank Rina.
It
could be Archie.
Yes, going on.
We never know. So, to what extent are we having this system played with our natural ability to be able to fight this off? We also not being allowed to experiment either alternative. For every disease that we have being cured or being looked at, there are alternative remedies. Okay? So if I take headache, for instance, and you go to hospital, they administer painkiller, there are other remedies. We are being told, for instance, antibiotics, that you do not take much of antibiotic, because if you do that, you risk the medicine not being able to fight other ailments, other bacteria when the need arises. Arises, and therefore certain things that someone will take antibiotic for, they recommend what they call alternative remedies for. Why is it that on this very virus we are not being given opportunity to try alternative remedies? That is a question. We are not being given a chance to show whether the alternative medicines do work or have even any sign of proving to be efficient. Now we are being told, for instance, there's a question that still bothers my mind. That herd immunity, if you're able to achieve a 70% of infection, and in fact WHO is actually aiming at a global jab of about 70% to be sure that herd immunity is achieved globally. Now, the first option was for us all to get infected to develop antibodies. Why are we not being told that, okay, if you develop it once or you've had coronavirus one, the possibility of you developing antibodies that will be able to fight off the thing. But we should have a way of testing if you have enough antibodies or you have your immune system is well enough to fight. Because if you're going to jab me and you're going to increase my ability to fight off the disease, and I've already gotten or got a lot of antibodies or have taken herbs that might have given me that level of immunity. Again, why do I need a jab for? So there are questions that for me I think we are being bulldozed or bamboozled into doing. I'm not saying the vaccines are not good. Vaccines are good, but it might not work for everyone. Again, how long are we going to be jabbing people? Because from indications, we're going to be having almost every 6 months, or every 4th month, or every 4 months, a new jab. So, to what end are we going to be jabbing? Are you getting me? It's a bit of a troubling situation. And if you have a situation where someone has availed themselves to be jabbed 8 times, good for them.
They said, you know what he did? He went to this particular place, went in, jabbed, and then went to another place, jabbed, and he's been going around the area, getting more jab, boosting himself.
So he's boosting his thing. But we don't know the adverse
effects. Maybe now he's not seeing it, but maybe in the future it could.
Anything that will alter your immune, your natural ability, and that's why old age, the young are able to fight off, because once you start getting old, your plasma and all these things that are able to fight off disease and begin to die, weaken, and therefore when diseases attack you, it becomes very, very serious, and you are unable to fight them off. So if we have been to, and even evidence suggests even now that those who are at the hospital, most of them are again the vulnerable. And we prioritize the vulnerable and jabbed them. All right. We jabbed the vulnerable. The Omicron, for instance, we are being told that the rate at which is spreading among the most vulnerable. Don't forget, these are the most vulnerable that we prioritize them. And there's a lot of questions that need to be answered for some of us. We'll continue to take the jab, but we need to again. We are not stupid. As human beings, we need to constantly question the system. We need to constantly raise questions, and we expect that people should know that, like what they are doing now. When you raise a question, you are an enemy of the state. You are being looked at an enemy of the. Take Djokovic's issue for instance. What was the risk? What risk does it pose to anyone? If Djokovic hadn't got a virus and he's allowed into this thing, if anything at all, he's not bringing in a virus. If anything at all, he would have been picking a virus from someone, if anything. Okay, that is his life at risk. He hasn't made you a police over his life.
But somebody would say that, look, in his past comments pertaining to this vaccines and everything, he said that he's not in support.
He doesn't want to be jabbed. So does that mean you should punish him for that? Does that mean you should punish him for that? Because if I don't want to be jabbed, I don't want to be jabbed. The next thing you're gonna do, if I don't want to be jabbed, do I pose a risk to others? Yes and no. How do I know I pose a risk if I test positive? If you're going to tell me that, okay, Djokovic, on a daily basis, you will be given a test. That test, you have to pay for it yourself. And every day we'll get a doctor to do PCR test on you. And that, because it's going to be a quick way of testing you, it will come back in 30 minutes, and therefore the price is $1,000. You have a choice.
To either accept it or
not to. So we should be looking at alternatives. Say, okay, fine, you don't want a job, but you need to make provision to prove that you are not a risk to others. Because if it's not a risk to others, what is he being hunted for?
But what do you think about what is happening in Italy and some of the other countries where they are now forcing? Now, I think is it Italy? They are saying the same thing. They're saying that the over 50s, it's now if you don't jab, they are going to charge you. You're going to be surcharged for refusing to be jabbed.
So at the end of the day, we are not being pushed into this world, and that is why the anti-vaxxers again will say that this is the 666. A lot of people are starting prayer camps. That there will be a time that the whole world will go to a point where you will be forced receive the mark of the beast. Yesterday I called someone, that's what the person told me. He said, I told you, this is a mark
of the beast.
You see, we
are forcing people now.
He said, we are acting in a way that plays into anti-vaxxers camp.
Yeah.
Anti-vaxxers camp. I mean, I will do an analysis for someone yesterday. If you take a country like Ghana, this year, I predict the amount of revenue they receive from tourism will reduce.
Tremendously.
Yeah. Not because of the virus per se, but because of the decision the government has taken to. I have friends who almost every year religiously will visit Ghana.
My daughter, not to cut you, last night was saying, no, she needed to go to Ghana. I was thinking that she travel on her Ghanaian passport, and we're looking at the debating, and she said, if she travels on the British passport, she's going to pay what? $150 for a test, and they said she's going to do a test here. Before she goes, she's double vaxxed as well. So what is all that?
Double vax is okay. That double vax is okay. But here we are in the case. There are a group of people who do not want vaccination. Okay, they are ready to test as many times as I have a Jamaican. He said, "Look, I go to Ghana, but I'm not going this time because this is the time they shop for their tickets and other things. By February, they bought their tickets already.
Okay,
he's telling me they're not going to go because they don't want to be vaccinated. And if they're going to get to Ghana airport, Akufo-Addo is saying that you'll be forced to vaccinate at the airport, and especially if they're going to vaccinate, they are not even interested in AstraZeneca.
Yeah.
Are you getting? They don't even want to get close to AstraZeneca. So if you're going to force them, they'll take a merely somewhere. Alternative destination, Gambia. That's what he told me yesterday.
Oh wow. So it's going to cost them.
It's going to cost. So you're going to look at a lot of people who be avoiding. If I don't want a job, I was telling you, I'll go to Togo and walk in.
Don't say that on here.
No. I'm not trying to tell you that people before.
To use other means to
Because at the end of the day, Archie, there's still uncertainty about the virus. You cannot discount a lot of scientists that are also coming out with very contradictory. I mean, we need to look at it from different angles. We can't say because government have accepted it and therefore it's good. We know government have gotten it wrong several times. Scientists have gotten it wrong. Even within the last 2 years alone, this coronavirus, they've gotten it wrong. We were told that when you jab first, and
now they say no, we have to now do a booster. Now we say no, a booster.
We have Israel that went partying, celebrated that they were the first country
to have
almost 100%. But one would have thought that if we're talking of coronavirus infection, Israel should not be. Should not be among those who should be under threat. But here we are. Israel is now pushing ahead the fourth. Jab. So, to what end? How many times are we going to be jabbed? And they themselves are saying that the more you get jabbed, your natural immune system
is compromised.
Get compromised. So are we now get to a point where we are now being made to become rabbits, and we always have to depend on the jab now becomes an opium that you have to live on to survive?
Well, the 666, I think the Israelis have got it first then.
Well, the biblical prophecies are coming.
Well, listen, it is Starr Radio UK. 12 minutes past the top of the hour. Tanzania Parliamentary Speaker Job Ndugai has resigned days after clashing with the president over foreign debts. Now, the speaker said his resignation was a personal and voluntary decision taken in the interest of the nation. But it came after he said Tanzania was at risk of being auctioned off following President Samia Suluhu's announcement of a new loan from the International Monetary Fund. Now, Mr. Ndugai issued a public apology to President Samia, which she rejected. She accused him of playing politics and trying to sabotage her ahead of the general elections in 2025. Now, you know, Samia is the first lady woman to be president and taking over from what our friend, what is his name? Magufuli. So, now, this is a move. You know, most of African countries, we don't have the means, and that's why when we come to Ghana, I want to look at that. We go take loans for various projects, and some are left undone, and then the money the taxpayers have to pay, and we end up sort of selling or auctioning the country to foreign entities. Now, do you think that the move by the speaker was a right move at all?
Actually, I think it's the right move. I've always believed in politics backed by strong conviction principles.
Okay.
I might not be right, I might not be wrong, but I must allow my principles to dictate and guide what I do in politics and in public office. If it is a belief of this speaker that, look, the path that we are going on, we risk basically running into unsustainable levels of debt like we've seen across a lot of countries in Africa today, then he needs to take a decision, and I do not want to be part of this. I do not want to be the leader of parliament that does the government's bidding. Yes, I'm a member of your government, I'm a member of your party, but I do not want, knowing that I don't want to just do the normal politics, because posterity is there to judge each and every one of us. And actually, people who take such decisions, I do respect them. They might be right, they might be wrong. But the fact that they actually believed and followed their conviction, I draw my heart out for them. The debt issue in Africa is becoming very, very serious. We're basically debt trapped. Almost every country in Africa is trapped in this cycle of debts and
loans. Are
you getting me? And we seem not to want to get ourselves out of it, because people want to do the fanfare of projects that some of them are unsustainable, fanciful, and again we run governments as if everything is okay because we can sign a letter, we don't pay for it, and all we do is let's make our money out of it and prepare ourselves for the hardship once we are able to cushion our family and friends to be able to withstand the hardship with whatever commission he gotten, money that we might have gotten from some of these deals. I do support him. Actually, he should go, and I would have gone. Once your conviction says no, I don't want to be part, go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, kudos to him then. But what do you think? Maybe you think that no, it's not something that he should have done. He should have been there to support a woman. You think some people are of the view that, well, because she is the first woman to be president of the particular country, the man ego seems to be kicking in, and so you are a woman, you don't know what we are talking about, blah blah blah. So maybe some of the view that is what is happening there. And well, as Margaret Thatcher said, this woman is not for turning. She said, this is what I want to do, I'm plodding on, I'm going to do it. Now, what do you think? We want to have your take on that. 17 minutes past 12 the time, we're going straight to Ghana, where it is Democracy Day today. Now, first of all, let's look at the political environment when you go to Ghana, where we had the e-levy issue going on. There was a banter in the Houses of Parliament, where fist fight eventually came in. Some were calling for the police to have stepped in, or even we're not sure, but everything that went on there. Now, looking at it from somebody, let's say you were within there, so you were seeing what was happening. What has been the reaction of Ghanaians?
Actually, Parliament, what people condemn what happened in Parliament, that's what the fist fight. But some also thought it was necessary, and it was needed to be able to basically avert what some people consider a crisis or subverting of the constitution. Because look at the facts. We are again, it depends on the interpretation of the standing orders of the constitution. What happened? I'll stand from Joe Wise. I mean, making an announcement that once he's not in his seat, he remains
a member of
parliament and therefore can vote. It's as well as telling us that whilst you are presiding, should you even excuse yourself to go to the gentle event, you are still not the speaker. But whatever is happening over there, when the question of the day is posed, you ask the question, and therefore at that very point in time, you are presiding.
Yeah.
Until that section is over, you still are presiding. It's just like telling me that a classroom teacher comes set exam, whilst we trying to unravel the calculus. He said, "Let me drink water," and at the time he stepped out of the classroom, he ceases to be a teacher.
No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't make sense to an ordinary mind that might not know the up and downs of how these rules work. But the second question we ask, those who oppose it, that we're going to take the chair out, that they will not allow the other deputy to sit down, was that the best thing to do? And they will tell you, what else do we have to do?
Under the circumstance,
under the circumstance, if we have not stopped it and he has succeeded in voting, a decision will have been taken. And we cannot reverse that decision because it has been.
And that would have been unconstitutional.
That would have been unconstitutional, and they'll tell you go to court, and it's not going to work. So what would you have done if you were in their shoe? Actually, I mean, some of us were saying even the fight was small, they should have fought.
Interestingly, from December through to last week or early this week, there have been lots of parliamentary fights in various countries. And I was like, okay, Ghana was the blazer, trailblazer for that.
What is beginning to happen is you see, when we started this fourth democracy, we've never had this, and even this is Akufo-Addo is lucky that there were a bit of what some people allege is arm twisting to have actually secured the 38 with one grouping that they do. And again, NDC played a very silly card. I mean, on the 6th of January, in my view, if, for instance, they have held on to the second deputy position, Joe Wise cannot work closely with the second deputy. Okay, I'm getting out. Come and replace me so I can.
Yeah.
Are you getting me? That was not going to work. So they shot themselves in the foot by doing that. A lot of people put them now. I see Ketia has come to say that they were tricked into it. I said, well, I mean, whether they were tricked into it, whether you deliberately negotiated and sold it to them, I mean, and all that is totally up to you. But actually, the fact of the matter that this is a serious issue that is being considered. In my view, that e-levy that is being considered, I think they're gonna have a look at it again. Look, Cameroon, as we speak, there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of conflict going on because of 0.2% of the same thing that is being done. In Uganda, when it was introduced, because they had a majority, the revenue target that they were, people stopped using money. And therefore, it fell, and government is now looking at different ways of it. They even have to,
and even that one too was 0. I think 2 something.
Actually,
as
we
well.
are talking about 1.75. Look, actually, I was at the speaker's office when I was in Ghana. The bottom line is that if by March nothing is done, Ghana will collapse because government cannot pay salaries after March. That is how bad the economic situation is. Government cannot pay salary after March. They cannot.
So they need to raise funds from that e-levy to do that.
See, but the e-levy must not be the only. You see, we need to be looking at expenditure. The kind of expenditures we are making. We're making some money, all right, because the excuses the government is giving, VAT, all this in that VAT is not raising. Look, VAT is whether I buy things electronically and buy things physically. VAT is
everybody seems to be paying VAT
so
in the country.
At the end of the day, if you're telling me that people are taking to electronic means of doing this and therefore
avoiding being paid VAT,
that is totally false. Again, record shows that year on year we've raised money more than we budgeted for. We basically projected for. Last year, for instance, they were targeting to raise 55 billion. I mean, they raised over what they call 57 billion.
Okay.
The year before, that's during the COVID period. So even the excuse that COVID has shrink sources of revenue again is false, because at the end of the day, last 2 years they budgeted to raise 45 billion. They ended up raising over 47 billion.
Okay.
Are you getting me? So there are certain information that are not being given. All we know from where I sit, The government want to raise more money. Government want to splash because this is a political game that they want to play. I mean, let's do more so that we see that, okay, last minute, because government substantially disappointed a lot of people over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Akufo-Addo underperformed over the last 5 years. Promises that were made. Look, 2 years ago, year of roads was declared. Last year of road was declared. This year of roads has again been declared. The other thing that is troubling them is that the sources of external revenue that normally like aid and other things, the advanced countries are changing. UK, for instance, the aid that they will support, they say they put the aid in the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So those sources of revenue are not coming, therefore they are fault. Here we are again, a lot of international, they floated bond, it didn't work. Because we are dead bedding. Ghana is actually, if Ghana was an individual, your credit score will be less than 200.
Oh gosh.
Oh yes.
Virtually going bankrupt.
Your credit score will be less than 200. Look, I was told by someone high up, when they take, and the way they've syndicated a lot of loans. For instance, you take Get Fund. The moment Get Fund hits the account, automatically its percentage or a chunk of it has to go because they've used the receivables as collateral. They've used the receivables as collateral. So for the next few years, whatever comes in has already been eaten with huge interest. Are you get me? Now the financial market, I mean, what have the financial market said? They said, look, Ghana bonds are not junk. They've declared Ghana bond junk. Investors are no more interested. What is going to happen this year? If someone has money and you want to put in savings in Ghana, do. Because interest rates are going to go up. Because government is going to post after March. Government is going to go straight to the domestic market. They're going to raise treasury bill rates, and that's how they're going to mop up liquidity in the system. Which means that a lot of businesses will be chasing a few cities. At the end of the day, the banks over there also do not like risk, and therefore, if they know government is the last payer, if they're going to loan their money to government, they take deposit from you. They give it to government,
and they make profit. They make profit from it.
They're better off giving it to government than giving it to someone who want to open up a shop. And therefore, the impact on the economy. So actually, we're in a mess. Interesting. Ghana is in a mess.
Interesting. Now let's look at the Democracy Day issue. Now, when we started this fourth republic, we had Afarijan, Dr. Afarijan. Then after that, we came to have Charlotte. What was the name? Charlotte Osei. And then we now have Jane Mensah. Okay. Now every time the appointee of this particular individual, if it's Afarijan was by the NDC, the then president, former president Rawlings, appointing Afarijan. So he appointed Afarijan, and then everybody now started to say that whatever Afarijan is going to do is to favor the NDC, which he didn't. Okay, it went on until Kufuor came in. Okay, Kojo, call us back. Yes.
Retain Afarijan.
Okay. Then it went on further, and now we have Jane Mensah. But we see this stretch of road that we're traveling on, and every time we because we don't have independent way of selecting these people, we always have the incumbent or the president appointing that person, and the next moment somebody say you're working in the favor of that person. How do we solve that?
Actually, I think a bad president had been said, and I'm going to be very surprised if that cycle does not continue until we actually do something about our constitution. Because Afarijan was someone who actually, we have this crowd first, then we have Afarijan coming in, then we have Afarijan who actually saw the exit of NDC, the government that appointed it, saw the exit of MPP again to another NDC, and went on retirement. Then we have Charlotte Osei. In my view, whoever went wrong, ousting Charlotte Osei was an error in my view.
Okay.
Because what you've done, the grounds on which you oust that woman, those grounds can again be exploited by any other political party to change
whoever is there.
Whoever is there. We have, but you know, it was more of a political decision than anything that will help the nation. In my view, I mean, this might not be factual. In my view, Nana Akufo-Addo, and it's backed. What I'm saying is backed by a U.S. report.
The
report on why this Charlotte was changed. If you look at the way even results were declared in the last election, no one will tell you that it was a political decision. We have Kojo online.
Yeah, we have Kojo online. Let's go to Kojo. Kojo, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Arch. Yeah, and Frank. Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
How are you, sir?
I hear some people calling you sir, and I don't know if you've been given an honorable.
Because I witnessed the fight firsthand.
Well, what's the secret of getting it? So that we can give one to Archie.
Honorable Kojo, Honorable Frank, Honorable Felix, yeah, we'll go on like that.
yeah.
Yes, your take.
Right. You're talking about Afarijan and Co. Well, the president making an address today is a holiday because it's a democracy day, as they call it. And at the end of the day, the president is going to make an address to Parliament on the state of the nation. I don't know. Maybe Ghana has come a long way in the last 28 years. But it's so difficult to judge every president or every era, whoever led the government's performance, really, or whoever was in the office of the electoral commissioner. I think to some large extent, the electoral commissioner cannot influence the outcome of any election. I mean, there have been occasions where dirt and mud has been thrown at some of the commissioners. I mean, the person who had a lot thrown at her is Charlotte Osei. I mean, they call her all kinds of names. I think Jen Mensah too has had her fair share of those calling of names. But at the end of the day, it is the people, it is the citizens of Ghana who vote for who they want to lead them. Irrespective of whether we say there is a rigging here and there, that do not account a lot for the fortunes of each party. So really, that is how I place it.
Okay. Now, let me come back to Frank. Now, do you think that maybe we can have another way? You were saying that the president has already been set, where wrongfully the MPP got rid of Charlotte Osei. Okay, so do you think that we're going to call a truce and say, okay, this time around, let's now get maybe somebody that is not government per se?
That cannot be done. That cannot be done until the constitution is played with.
Okay.
What's the guarantee that when you call a truce now, I mean, who are you calling a truce with?
I can hear hardly hear Frank.
Okay.
Who are you calling a truce with? Which government are you calling a truce with? That's the first question. And at the end of the day, if I decide to come in and say, okay, I'm exploiting the loopholes in the constitution to throw away any appointee that I can go ahead and do it. All I have to do is to give you reasons and engineer reasons. And you know what? I mean, the executive has so much power, they influence even the judiciary, every part of the government, they influence it. In my view, Archie, we need a review of the constitution. I mean, Democracy Day, I don't know what they call Democracy Day, because at the end of the day, for me, it's useless. There are too many holidays in Ghana. How does Democracy Day enhance whatever we've done? What are we doing? For me, this is a holiday that, for me, is not needed.
It's useless holiday.
It's a useless holiday. Democracy Day. What Democracy Day? What are we doing on Democracy Day? Are we saying, okay, today we are going to look at our constitution and look at the institutions that are not working, or institutions that the constitution has made powerless? For instance, how do we appoint the IGP? That we say on the Democracy Day we're going to collect what they call a Ghanaians' opinion on how we should review those institutions that are not working. You made mention of, for instance, the Electoral Commission. Are we going to today do like town halls to be able to, what do Ghanaians think about appointing of, if we are not going to be doing anything to strengthen the pillars of democracy and how we advance our democracy, and we just call it democracy a holiday, for me it's useless.
It's useless.
Yeah.
Now, Kojo, what do you think about this Democracy Day at all? Is it something worth celebrating? I mean, taking a day off for day that a country that is so desperate for funds, that we decided, okay, we want to take another day off. How much does it cost the state when a day is declared a holiday?
Well, I don't know the figures, but I am not sure Democracy Day was a way forward. Well, fine, if they decide to do it, I'm sure they replace it with a Republic Day, because Ghana became a republic on the 1st July, and somebody might be thinking that is tied in with a former president. Well, why don't we have a broad-based celebration where both parties have an opportunity to form a government on the 7th of July? 7th of January. Instead of the 1st of July, where they think most people don't even know what it is all about. So we want to keep in the memory of Ghanaians 7th January. But whether it's 7th January, which is Democracy Day, or 1st July, Republic Day, what I know across the world, Republic Days are celebrated in every country, but not Democracy Day. So I am not sure what the significance of this Democracy Day is. Some might disagree with me. That is all about the Fourth Republic. Yeah, fine, it's about the Fourth Republic. But how do the citizens of Ghana understand it? People are just seeing it as another holiday, and people are going out they are going about their own business. People are doing all sort of things, from churches meeting to people's holding parties. And again, because it's Friday, it fits well into a longer holiday weekend break for people. So I am not sure the real significance, apart from we saying that, look, that was when the Fourth Republic came into being. But has there been any civic education of the people to say that this is the reason why we put this there across? Have there been an effort made to even teach much about democracy in schools, what democracy all entails about? No.
Now let me ask you, because we're looking at celebrating. My apologies. Looking at celebrating this day, and then we have Central Coffee Akbar for the South area, and up to now they don't have a representative in Parliament. And we said we are celebrating. And so I asked myself the question: what are we actually trying to do there? What
I can show the next government, if it is not MPP, it will be scrapped. That one, be sure it will be scrapped.
Okay.
There's no relevance. What it does for this government, it gives Akufo-Addo an opportunity to relaunch or to remind people, because you get a whole country's attention. Like when you are sworn in first, the speech, the acceptance speech that you give, you have the opportunity to basically, similar to what you address to the nation, basically address the nation again about what. But like Kojo is saying, the relevance of today, how it helps the classroom, the classroom boy, the class 4 boy, the P6 boy to understand the pillars of democracy, how we build them. And then besides, we are not practicing, we're practicing democracy. That's what we do anyway. So at the end of the day, if we're going to use this day as a day we review what we do on a daily basis, how to enhance our democracy, then look, I'll be inclined to say that probably it's worthwhile celebrating. But if we're just going to be celebrating, wasting a day, productive day out, actually calculation was done, and if you look at the productive, basically we work less than 50 days in Ghana a year. If you want, yes. I'll bring you the article. A guy was able
we have
to
365
forget it.
days.
We work less than 50 days a year. A lot of people in the office work less than 50 effective days in a year. It's even far less than that. So the more the holidays we have, for me, it makes no sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I seem to get it, because you look at the travel times, the fact that people come in and want to chill out, now get into it, a few moments, they decide that I have to take a break, and then decide that they have to leave because of traffic again. So it makes it quite feasible. I mean, that the period of time that you said people are working, quite interesting. Well, listen, let's start Radio UK. Now, Kojo, let's look at it. I mean, what recommendations would you, given the opportunity to say, yes, we've gone so far 28 years to 30 years on the Fourth Republic. I mean, what recommendations would you have made if you are given the opportunity to do so?
About Democracy Day.
Yeah, democracy. No, changes in this Fourth Republic. What things have been done? I did touch on the election or the appointment of the chair of the Electoral Commission, and Frank was talking about the IGP and other. Which other area do you think that maybe you think, oh, this is good, but maybe these areas we need to maybe amend it or tweak it a bit to fit our purpose?
I mean, the whole constitution should. Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. The whole constitution should be looked at again. I mean, that constitution was fitting for 1992. I mean, times have gone that far. We're talking about 28 years. I mean, the constitution was initially put in place as a hybrid constitution. So, hybrid constitution between parliamentary and presidential democracy. So, as we go along, what changes do we bring to the constitution? How do we make it work for everybody? How do we make it work for the nation? What are the flaws in the original constitution? What bills should be put in place to rectify those constitutions? So there could be a lot that could be done, but the MPs sitting there right now, are they prepared to do it when they are arguing about e-levies and arguing about who should be the Speaker of Parliament because one party wants to have a control over the other? I mean, they should go back and look at the Constitution. The things that are not working properly in the Constitution, which are becoming conflict ends, should be really amended. So those conflicts could be resolved going forward. So carrying on into the future in Parliament. Look, there are some issues in Parliament that could easily be dealt with when the Constitution is taken a second look at and amended. I mean, we had these in the course of a year. People were charged about monies given to spouses of presidents and vice presidents, and monies were going to be paid backdated back. I mean, that became a real charged issue because those people were not office holder. So should we go back and look at that provision by the Constitution and really place it where it should be and redefine it properly, which people should be office holders, and if wives of president and vice president and the Speaker of Parliament needs to be given some money, should we redefine it properly in the Constitution? So that is one example we can look at in amending the Constitution and making the Constitution clear.
Okay.
Rather than leaving it as it is, and everybody places their own judgment to it or their own interpretation. That's what I want to say. Their own interpretation. So those are some of the things that we should be looking at. There should be a panel, which I know there's a constitution review panel. What work are they doing? Are they just sitting there? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know what the work they are doing at the moment because there's nothing constructively being done that tells me there's something going on.
Let me see. Frank just came from Ghana, so maybe he can have information.
Actually, there's nothing. I mean, for me, like Kojo is saying, the constitution is sick. The constitution. Most of our problems are derived from the constitution. It serves its purpose for me, I think it's like a moving vehicle. If it downs our miles, you need to change a little bit of tires, change the oil, change the this thing. And I think the constitution need a bit of regreasing. I think we need to curtail the executive power. The power that the executives have is too much. For instance, I've always, and I'll continue them, the appointment of the IGP must not be in the hands of the executive. That for me is an extension of executive power to policing, which for me into law enforcement, which for me is wrong. Another key area that I think we should look at, we should have a cap on how many Supreme Court judges can be appointed
by the executive.
By the executive. Okay. As we speak today, we have 14. We've increased the number of Supreme Court judges to 14.
Okay.
And of that 14, Akufo-Addo has appointed 10 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So virtually, you are looking at you are controlling the judiciary is now an extension of the executive because they appoint their favorite. That is one. Who heads the Electoral Commission? I think it should be a job that people apply for, and competent people should be employed. Basically, lay down performance targets and other things. You look at the power the executive have to appoint directors to state institutions like banks and other things. Again, I think that is being used as a political playing field where it's just job for the boys. I mean, we are told, for instance, someone who has no knowledge of how aviation industry work being appointed
as the head of the International Airport,
the board chairman of what do you call it?
KIA.
Poladomachi, and you ask yourself, what the hell is going on over there when there are experts within the field who have worked in that area for years? Are you getting me? You look at during the NDC time, a board member like Alote Jacob appointed to the Energy Electricity Board. You ask yourself, what are we doing? So we need to curtail the executive power. It is very, very, very key. National Center for Civic Education, in my view, need to be empowered. Their rules need to be redefined to take on because now there are three arms that are supposed to be educating us, and we are left confused. They will have National Center for Civic Education, we have a Ministry of Information, and then you have a presidential team. At each point in time, you do know which information you are receiving and who is in charge of the information, where it's coming from. National Center for Civic Education, who is supposed to be educating us on our basic rights and other things, it's now lost in transition. You don't see what they are doing anymore, because all the radio stations are now, because that's where they get their solids from, from the government. So in my view, certain institutions that need to help our democracy needs to be looked at. And one, I think it should be mandatory that civic responsibility should be part of our basic education curriculum, which we don't now know our left and right. But I do believe that certain things should be taught, and the Constitution has an answer to that. I think a whole lot needs to be done.
Now, who initiates the constitutional review?
There's like Kojo said, there's a constitutional review committee, and every 10 years by law, Constitution needs to be reviewed every 10 years. But also 2002, 2012. Now, but when they do that, the government has the right, the executive has the right to either accept or not to accept. So you will recall, for instance, there was a time Tamils was issued, and Kufu also issued some. But what we have found out is that each time the executives want to protect themselves, they're looking at the power they wield, and therefore accepting certain things that we wrote. Some of those powers is nothing that either NDC or MPP executive are going to accept. So unless we get someone who has that strong will that will say, okay, you know what, this has not helped us, I know it's going to affect me, I know it will harm the way I govern initially, but I'm doing it for the good and for the betterment of the country, and therefore my powers that goes to appoint this chief executive, I'm scrapping them. That we are reviewing, and I'm accepting the fact that we will not do again. Then they come to you. Look, I help you campaign. Why don't you appoint me here? Political pressure.
Yeah.
But again, we need to go to the constitution to find a cure, and we need a lot of changes.
Wow, lot of changes. Listen to Star Radio UK. Now let's move on straight to this biometric data that is said to be in the hands of a Kenyan company. Now this company, Ghana's data it's in the hand of a Kenyan company. The said company has a record registering soy farmers. Now Salom Brantier has stated in a Facebook post on his timeline. Now Salom Brantier is Imani's vice president. Okay. Now he says that according to him, the said company's track record in biometric data system is registering a single company, soy farmers, in the country. In a post cited by Ghana Web on the Facebook timeline, Brantier explained that after the complaints being made by agents of the SIM card registration activity and the bottlenecks, I decided this evening to figure out exactly what was going on. So he went to various places where this registration is going on. He said this post here reveals some interesting and worrying information that he believes he had got. Now, so first of all, he's talking about the app that is used for the SIM re-registration exercise is called the Ghana SIM Registration Agent app. You can find it on Google Play Store with a search with the same name. So virtually, if you go put your details on that, somebody can just go there and just hack it straight on. Yeah. And it goes on. It's numbered. So why? I'm asking myself the question. Now you have people queuing. Now my dad at this age cannot go and be queuing for his SIM registration.
I went to Archie Mall with my mom, and I was going to myself, my younger brother, and my mom, and I was going to help register her SIM card. Archie, the queue over there, and the way the people were even talking to people over there. I just told my mom, forget it. We left. I couldn't. Because virtually I was going to spend half a day or probably a whole day standing there.
We don't have value for time,
I cannot do that. Besides, I thought that when all these ID card and issues started, Kufuor, the regime started it, NDC came and halted it precisely because they wanted to build a national data center. Now, that national data center was built, and that is why you see National Identification Authority linking up their data being stored. So for me to hear that our bio data is now in the hands of a foreign company, irrespective of whichever country they come from, whether it's Kenya, whether they've had sophistication
from UK or whatever.
For me, it raises a little bit of concern because we do have a lot of competent brains and minds to be able to develop any app that we want to capture our data in Ghana. We have a lot of brilliant guys that could develop any app that you want to capture data. Why we did not engage them is a mystery. I get me. Why we needed to go for a company that had the experience they have is to have been able to register soya farmers in a county.
In the whole of Kenya, in just a county.
Population is less than Ghana district, less than one district in Ghana, right? Less than one district in Ghana. For me, it's a mystery. How are they linked? Are we giving them access to our national bases in Ghana? Are we giving them access to our national data center? These are all security issues. Will I have confidence to put my data is not worth anything, but it's still my personal data. It's still my personal data. I was shocked. If someone thinks that biometric these things are 100%, is actually my phone, one of my phones, I have a facial recognition. My younger brother's facial thing can open my phone.
Hey!
Actually, I am not joking. My younger brother Kennedy was able to open my phone just by using the biometric, just looking at it opened.
Hey.
So this technology that we have, we think we are secure 100%. Actually, it is not. It is not at all. So when we get to a point where a company that we do not know anything of, no track record, going to have our data, biodata again, actually, well, you're not going to come to change my DNA like vaccine would do. But I mean, I'll be very skeptical.
Let me go to Kojo. Do you think the government has done diligent to getting this organization to do this registration thing?
Well, if nations are going to give contracts to companies to do such an exercise, those companies should have a track record of having done it before. Not just a track record of registering solar farmers within a county. I mean, it's just like going to register cab drivers in Croydon. That does not translate to having a data for cab drivers in the whole of the United Kingdom. So obviously you have to have some level of expertise. And from what I read earlier on, they seem not to have that level of expertise. They have had other litigations, ongoing litigations, and from what Frank is saying, who was back in Ghana on the ground, there is definitely a huge problem. I mean, why would you have people queuing for hours and hours on end? Look, the simple fact is that my mother, who is nearly 80, says she's not going to get herself involved in any of these, either national ID or registration or anything, because she doesn't want to do it, and she's not going to do it. She's not going to be in a queue, someone of her age. She's not going to queue with youngsters. She's not going to do it.
We don't make also going round as well.
Exactly. And so as a result, my other sibling in Ghana, my only sibling now in Ghana, says, well, she has to do it and put her name on it and give the phone to her to use. But she already had a registered SIM, which she has had for years. So all these exercises of re-registering, I can't get it. How many times do we re-register our SIMs here?
It's because of this e-levy. That's why they are doing it. Because part of that e-levy is because of this e-levy, how to tax is all the tax administration. Because what they are doing is that even now, apart from this e-levy 1.75% that we're talking about, now there's something that is built in that policy called wealth tax. That at the end of the year, they look at all the transactions that you've done. All the transactions that you've done. If it crosses a threshold, I think 35,000 Ghana cedis, you are surcharged 30% of all. It's enshrined there. Is that by the
so it's not the 1.75?
No. This is just so it's all about linking your transactions to your ID, so that any transaction that you do now, they know who is doing the transaction. It helps fight crime, but actually there's more to it. It's all about collecting money more.
Wow, interesting. Well, listeners, I'm going to bring the program to a close, but we'll go to South London first, where Kojo Day is, and get his closing remarks, and then I'll come to Frank, and then we'll bring the program to a close. Kojo, over to you, sir.
What can we say? Like Frank rightly said, there are other companies who have a great deal of experience in collecting this form of data. So if you're giving it to companies that have no experience whatsoever, who is the data going to be sold to? As we know, data can easily be sold and passed on to other people. And for this SIM registration, some of these people who are registering their details for SIM registration, they don't have their bank details, they have their Momo details, everything on. And if that gets into the wrong hand, God save the people giving their data away. I mean, like Frank rightly said, some of these facial recognition apps can hardly even recognize black people. Look, I watched a whole documentary where it took a clever university student at an Ivy League university in the US to be able to tell that, look, these facial recognition softwares do not even see black people's faces. They think all black people are the same. So for
we'll try that when we finish. I will have to do your facial to get my phone. Let's
exactly. So that is some of the things. So if you realize, initially when they started facial recognition on our phones, people's children faces could open their phones because the data, I'm telling you, the 100%, you know, I worked in IT before, so 100%, their children's faces could open their phones. So if I have a child, maybe 6, 7, 8 years now, their face could open my phone. Even if I put probably my wife's face will not open it. But their children's faces could open each of the phones. And why was it happening? Because the way the data has been trained, it doesn't recognize babies and young people's faces because they didn't have a data bank of those faces. So it was the same thing with black people. They didn't have a huge data bank for black people's faces. So some of the data couldn't recognize black people's faces. So rightly Frank said, we have to be very, very, very careful. When we're collecting data, we are allowing data to be stored. From our experience in this nation, when the data gets into the wrong hands, it does great damage to the individual. And people's private and personal information will be compromised. And who knows where the data will be sold in future. If that company something wrong happens to that company today, and some of these hackers get into their system, even if they could get into Apple's system, they could get into Samsung system, they could get into any system they want, there'll be trouble. It will be similar to what happened years ago in one of these countries in Asia, where their banking system was gotten into. Monies were being transferred from left to right. Some to be picked in Malaysia and some to be picked in the Philippines. And North Korea did that.
Wow.
So well, we should be careful. I will leave you on that.
Okay.
Actually,
thank you very, very much.
We do have a long way to go. I planned launching I'm going to write to Ghana again. Again, we're talking about data. Where I lived, for instance, at Taifa, the street on which our house is, my house is what they call it. It's called Jupiter Street. The house opposite me, like a street in between us, is called Southern. Now the question then arises: are the houses the streets, or okay? So let me take a classic example. Where you are, your street, your house is Jupiter. The one opposite you, assuming you have a house directly opposite you, which will be again, bordering Jupiter, is given a different street name. Okay, so you then ask yourself, and it's all over, dotted all over the country. Wow. We did a bit of, but I'm talking my personal experience. Now you then ask yourself, is your building the name of the street,
or the others,
or the street is being named, or the buildings that are being named? You get what I'm saying? So now we have Women Road. That's why we have Women Road. Okay, we are in we are all even numbers. The odd numbers have a different name. So instead of Women Road, our house, our building is called Women Road. The one opposite us is called Southern Road. Then you ask yourself, is the building the road, or the road the road, or the other one? The other thing that you found out is that the same name, if it is Creading, you go to let's say South Creading, you see the same Jupiter Street. It's not like you see Jupiter Street, Jupiter Road, Jupiter Avenue, Jupiter Lane. No, you see the same Jupiter Street dotted all over within the same area. So that again, we are talking about data collection over here now, because we're talking about this biometric data collection.
Yeah.
That for me is a very huge error that me say that has been made over there that is going to affect us in planning. If you look at that again, I don't know how where thinking came into our minds. The naming of our street seems to have nothing to do with what Ghana is for. My village, for instance, they are bringing a street named Siri. What is Siri? My grandmother doesn't know what Siri is.
Somebody, the first person who had an apple from there.
No. Actually, it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. Jupiter. Look, Trazako. I went to visit a friend at Trazako, and the owners of there's a road. Those are rich areas.
Yeah.
There's a road just by the estate. Very bad road. Now, the owners of Trazako wanted to construct that road and name it Trazako Lane or Trazako Road.
Yeah.
The government stopped them.
Why? Because they're going to name it.
And you ask yourself, what was the sense in it? A friend of ours built a new ultra-modern electric distributor. And when it was built, there was a gutter that you couldn't even cross. He got bulldozers to construct that road, construct the gutter. Do you know what Tema Development Council, who gave him permission to come and he should have taken? He said, you know what? I've done it because my properties are located here. When you are able to think your planning or your financing here, you can collapse mine
and then we can use yours
and do yours. Actually, the other major problem we face in Ghana today, and it's a pandemic, it's more than a pandemic. Churches.
We are going to heaven. This is coming.
The menace of churches in Ghana is look. I was forced to go and confront one pastor. Actually, on the street, just like the way we have where our office is.
Yeah.
Opposite is another church. This one is like a home coop. Their noise level is 10 times. I don't know whether they are comparing. And this around a 1 mile radius, there are over 10 churches. If you have a baby in that area, before they go,
they will have a problem with it. Yeah.
So one evening I just went straight. The pastor was there. I went. They were screaming, shouting. I said, I want to speak to the pastor. I said, the pastor is on him. I said, no, I can hear him, but I need to speak to him.
So you should stop and come and speak to you.
Yeah, I need to.
This man is antichrist.
The lady was looking at me. So reluctantly went in and called the pastor. The pastor came. I said, Pastor, thank you for the work of God you are doing. We are men of God. We all want to win souls for Christ. But you see, the level of noise you are producing, anyone who live in that area, who should be the first people you should be attracting to church, none of them will come because you are a nuisance to them. I was angry. You are a very nuisance. I said, look, I live in this area. Every day, Monday to Friday, there are programs. You disturbing us. Can you turn it down? I don't want to disrupt what you're doing. Can I have your number and I'll call you the phone? But if you don't turn it down, I'm going to report you because the church is not even supposed to be there. That property, when plots were being bought over there, was not supposed to be a church. And he was just looking. He gave me the number, but I tried calling. He didn't pick it. But lo and behold, actually, lo and behold, since that day, the noise level tumbled.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the menace of churches. I was taking a walk somewhere. Let me tell you, find out you laugh. And it was a Sunday. And once I crossed a gutter going somewhere, there was this Assemblies of God church. Just like the way our building is, where the shop is, it's another church. So basically, Assemblies of God is our building. The insurance company here is another church. Now, interestingly enough, there's competition that was going on. Assemblies of God were not making that much money, but the others in that area, actually, the level of noise. And there was this lady who we saw. In fact, I was taking a walk with a friend of mine, and she saw that the way that lady was lying down or sitting there, there's something wrong with her. Lo and behold, she walked to the her. The lady was collapsing. The lady was collapsing. So she heard her, was bringing her in. I mean, there was a shop in front. So I quickly give her water. I mean, because the temperature was something interesting happened over there. There was a lady who was actually selling that shop, and then the person, she was seeing the person over there. So look, give the lady water to drink. The lady could dehydration. Actually, the lady took the water. Guess the first thing she did. Can you guess?
Poured salvation or prayed over it.
You go. I'll give you 7 over 10. She's not coming to break water. I break. Hey. I do the. Hey. I said, madam, the person is collapsing. Give her water. I break. Yes, Umuja. I said, it's funny. You then begin to understand certain things and the mentality of the thing. Then the lady ended up taking the water after persistent calling. I give her water. Then I said, look, the lady had a little bit of weight. We don't know if she has pressure. Can I buy Coke for this lady? Because her sugar level potentially could be down. So we need to get her something that because the lady was collapsing. Come and say Coke breaking.
Hey, everything. Are you a trader or
Archie? You know what? Made anyway with Sumuja or Biabo something. I said, madam, the person is collapsing. This has nothing to do with Sumuja. Wow. And I realized, Archie, but I've had that experience over here before. With I know how they operate. But actually, it's interesting. There are a lot of storybooks you have to write. Anytime, if you have to get ready with your pen and paper.
Once you land in that place, well. Listeners, it's 10 minutes past 1. I want to say thank you very much to each and every one of you who tuned in today to listen to us. To Mr. Frank Davis, welcome back from the United States of Ghana.
United States of Africa. The headquarters.
Yes. And to Kojo D in South London working and still being with us as well. Thank you very much to you. But this evening, Afia Sarakoto is going to be coming your way with the Afia show. Make a date with her. And don't you worry, lots of music going to be coming your way. What about that? Next week, God willing, we'll be bringing you the roots of Africa as well. So stay tuned. And we say, God bless you. From me, Archie, in the studios, we say, bye-bye for now. Enjoy this song from a group, the Dima Power Group. He says, don't worry, be happy. Yeah? Don't worry, be happy. Bye-bye.